Good morning. This is George Tkaczuk with RCM Wealth Advisors reporting to you from the CME Group trading floor. Okay, this morning I'd like to talk about the equity markets and then a play we have in this market right now. Okay, looking at the equity markets coming into today, the equity markets are still in a bit of a correction. Of course, that may change at the end of the day. Meaning, last Monday, the equity markets bottomed, appeared to find a temporary bottom, and we've rallied every day since then. Except, however, we haven't really rallied on any kind of volume. Volume's been very light, and that's what makes the whole thing a little bit tricky and a little bit suspect. So S&P bottomed last Monday, we rallied up, and it was able to capture the 1600 level. However, it was just meeting resistance right below its 50-day moving average at about 1621. However, this morning we are above that. So let's look to see how the volume turns out at the end of the day. Maybe the market will indeed start turning a little bit more to the upside. Now, the Nasdaq's been acting a little bit stronger, but also bottomed last Monday. We had some good rallies through the week last week. However, the volume was still not the kind of volume you want to see in a market turnaround. However, again, we'll wait to see how that changes today. But the Nasdaq, however, has been able to recapture its 50-day moving average. It stayed above the 3,400 level, actually recaptured the 3,400 level, and so there is some hope. Now, also what we're seeing in this market is, while the breakouts aren't runaway breakouts, that's why we're thinking the market's still a little bit having a little trouble correcting, we are seeing a lot of stocks that do come into their support levels, whether it be horizontal support levels or the 50-day moving average, and holding those areas and bouncing off of them. And we're seeing a lot of this in the growth stocks. Now, also, if you look at some of the sectors, the financial sector is doing very well, and that's being led by the regional banks. If you take a look at KRE, which is a regional bank ETF, that's pretty much at new highs. You look at the XLF, it's above the 50-day moving average. You look at the XLY, the consumer discretionary ETF, that's above the 50-day moving average. Now, if you look at the semiconductors, also above the 50-day moving average, and a lot of those stocks are acting very well, and some of the breakouts are holding there. So now with the market sort of not quite their kind of market, how do you play it? Well, what I like to do is try to buy stocks off some support levels. So the stock we're looking at currently is SSNC Technologies. That symbol is SSNC. That's Sam, Nancy, Charlie. And basically, that stock broke out earlier in the year from a consolidation at about $27, ran up to $34. It corrected violently up to about the $30 area. That's when the Carlyle Group, which is one of the biggest shareholders, said they're going to sell half their shares at $32.20. However, that stock's been moving very tightly right around that $31.50, $32 area for about 6 weeks. Now, that tight action tells you that there's a lot of support in that stock. Now, another reason why I like the stock is for the last 4 quarters, earnings have accelerated, somewhere from about 5% to 17% to 61% over the last 4 quarters. And we see the same thing in sales. Sales have sequentially accelerated every single quarter, where last quarter coming in at an increase of 85%. So now, the stock is trading right about 33. You can buy it right here. If it fails at 31, the trade may not work. That's a little bit below the 50-day moving average, but that's a pretty tight area to play it. And of course, if it takes out that 34 area on big volume, that may be another area where you can add shares to that, as that would complete the breakout. So as always, let price and volume be your guide. Watch how today ends up. Today may be the game changer. The market may turn. We saw some pretty good volume coming in. A lot of strong movement in the market this morning. Good luck trading. This is George Tkaczuk with RCM Wealth Advisors reporting to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.